It's round number 4. It's another Monday night. Time for another edition of Monday Night Madness, brought to you by the Lincoln Speedway on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Today, week 4 brings us to Lincoln Speedway in Pennsylvania. A tight short track, but always provides some fun action. Well, you get a great feel of this racetrack, and the racing is always fun whenever you come to the Lincoln Speedway. So glad you could join us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. A little nervous Marty Sakala with you, as you could tell why by the little jersey I got on today. Zach Chapman joins me in the booth. He's a little nervous too for his Steelers. But Zach, as we get set to go racing...
No, Marty, I've got to cut you off. I do not like the Steelers at all.
Oh, you don't? Okay. I thought you said you did.
No. I'm one of those Pennsylvania people that I think I root against every Pennsylvania team, actually, but the Pirates.
Okay.
I like the Pirates.
Okay.
And the Penguins, too. But not football. Commanders. Much worse than the Steelers. It's tough to say that out loud.
Okay, fair enough. But it's good to be back with you once again. We missed you last week. Let's get set to talk about the Open 358s coming on in. They have provided some awesome racing to get the season started in 3 weeks. Last week at Eldora, not sure if you watched it, but it did not disappoint with the checkered flag being waved under Randy Shreve's first.
Yeah, it was great racing last week. I had to go back and check it out. Wasn't able to get it in live. I just got back in time to do my sprint car race. But I'm really excited for these things to be run here, more so than any other track, maybe like Wheat Sport as well. I'm anxious to see what the open setups, if guys set it up to run it in real hard up top in 1 and 2, or if they're going to bind it up on the brakes and try to keep it low. I think this track's going to set up for some great racing, Marty, if we can stay green.
Let's talk about the points coming on in as qualifying is just getting set to go. We'll watch Brandon Templeton, the number 31, as he is the first driver out on the racetrack. Let's talk about the points. The racing is tight, and the points are tight as well. Dean Reynolds, your points leader, coming in with a one-digit advantage on Trent Verstraeten in 204 to 203. But you guys back, got guys behind, not just like Randy Shreve that could close in, but also guys like Sam Bachman and Patrick Spangler who round out the top 5, just about 30 points back.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that they're that close. I mean, guys like Dean Reynolds, it doesn't surprise me to have the 1-point lead because you will always hear him talk about in the booth with us, Marty, how important incident points are. And if you think about it, one contact there for Dean would have put him -2 points. I mean, that would have knocked him down out of the lead. So tonight is going to be a night where you really want to watch the incident points if you're a driver. It's a lot of close quarters racing. You're going to bang a little bit, but you got to make sure it's just a rub and it's that 0x because, like you said, talking about the points, I mean, that incident points are going to factor into this championship as much as we don't necessarily want it to. It always does.
Speaking of Sam Bachman, he just took the 107 to the top of the charts with a 16:32. Anthony Morano just clocked in second. Also saw as well Isaac Salas. He's back with us this evening. Good to have him back. Even in a frigid Dakotas right now at the moment where if you drop a bunch of water, it immediately turns into ice. So... But watching some other drivers here on track. Gary Offa just made his way out. Let's go to Dan McLaren. Soupy's working on lap 1.
You see him really pitching it there. He wants to keep it as straight as he can. More so into 3, you see he really kept it straight. Kept the left tires on the bottom. I'm anxious to see what this lap time...
Qualifying's complete. Sam Bachman, the quickest at a 16:32. And now we'll invert the top 4 in each heat before we take the green flag. And let's begin with heat race number 1, which is brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies. Quality racing bodies designed by Dan Chapman in the iRacing hotbed of Clarence, Iowa. Here's your starting lineup for heat race number 1. Canada Connor Ross is on pole position in car number 35. Next to him, it's Dean Reynolds in the 79. Row number 2, B-Town, Brandon Templeton in the 31. Next to Sam Bachman, James Bond is in the 007. Row number 3 is Bob DeGood in car number 7. And next to him, it's Dan McLaren, who's in the 88. Rounding out the field for tonight is Michael Vecchio in the 007. Sam Bachman in the 107, excuse me.
Should be an exciting turn 1 here, Marty. You know as well as I do. Connor and Dean, they like to text each other periodically and give each other a hard time. They're real good friends, so This should be an exciting turn 1-2 here.
Winner starts on pole position for this heat race. We're glad you could join us. Let us know who you're rooting for. Drone City's rooting for Eagles Nation, although I believe they play. They've already played, right? Or do they not play until tonight? I can't remember off the top of my head.
They already played, I believe.
All right, I can't remember. I don't focus on the NFC until the NFC Championship game. Anyway, we're focused on this. Let's go racing at Lincoln Speedway in just a moment. The field making their way into turn number 3. With Ross and Reynolds set to take the green flag. Here we go.
They are the night game tonight, Marty. We both blanked out.
Okay.
Good turn 1 for Connor, though, able to keep it on the bottom.
3 wide, nearly 4 wide for the top spot. Templeton makes contact with a quarter panel of Ross. He has to back out of it and falls all the way back to 5th. Lap 1 in the books led by Connor Ross. Keep in mind, top 4 transfer to tonight's feature. The bottom 2 or bottom 3 will have to go down the B main tonight. Reynolds looking around the outside of Sam Bachman for second. He hangs on to it. Now let's see if the points leader can catch Canada Connor.
Yeah, I think you're going to see him maybe just try to pressure Connor a little bit, maybe try to make him mess up. I think he sees the high side in 1 and 2 especially really isn't going to work right now. Can't make a move on Connor, else he's going to leave the bottom open for Sam.
Yeah, just look how slick that bottom line is already early on here, and we're only in heat race number 1. But Reynolds testing out that second groove, see if it can work out. Not too much just yet. To the race for 4th, meanwhile, Dan McLaren has it. Templeton tries to send it deep, keep his foot on the gas off of turn number 4. Oh, McLaren had a bad exit there side by side. Templeton hits the wall, but he takes away 4th. And Bachman, what a round in the 107. I don't know what happened, but now Bob D. Good could steal 4th away from B-Temp into 3.
Bachman drove it in a little deep going into turn 1 and got in the back of Reynolds. Did the right thing, locked up the brakes, spun himself out, but it was a close call for those guys up front.
Templeton has the final transfer spot back. Bob D. Good hanging on for dear life. Last call into turn number 3. D. Good tries to send it. You know who's going to finish in the top 3. Who gets the final transfer spot coming to the checkers? Templeton over to Good.
Man, the Good really hung that right rear out there. He wasn't giving it any less throttle, that's for sure. He pink pedal to the floor.
But it's Connor Ross. That is your pole sitter for tonight. And now we go into heat race number 2, brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports. Full Throttle Motorsports, not just your average iRacing team, with members ranging from 18 to 57 from Minnesota to New York. They pride itself on clean and competitive racing and also hosts very successful small and big block events using setups from Gunnar Swanchara and Swan Speed Shop. It's FTM to the front. The Brewer to Beast, Jeff Barker, lines up on pole position. Next to him, it's G.J. Boydell in the 014. Row number 2, Stephen Goldner in the 30 with a fresh paint job on his modified. Next to Anthony Morano in the 32. Row number 3, John Morano in the 33. Next to the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. Steve King Foundation Pace Truck already on pit road. Winner starts outside of row number 1, and we're green. Three wide as both of the Muranos sent it deep. John Morano, Stephen Goldner up on 2 wheels and backs out of the race for 5th.
Yeah, Goldner didn't really have anywhere to go there.
Spangler around the outside as he looks for 3rd. It's G.J. Boydell who leads lap 1, but Morano all over the tail tank of the 014 for the lead here on board with them.
Greg's going to get a good run coming out of 4 here, but if Anthony can just keep him high, I think Anthony should be able to clear him on the backstretch.
They bang Nerf bars into turn number 1. Quickest car currently at the moment is Patrick Spangler, 16:52, and he's riding it up there on the top shelf, trying to get at every piece of the cushion as he can. Morano, though, takes the lead. The lines we're halfway through here, Zach Chapman.
Yeah, but I think Greg maybe looked up in the mirror. I think he saw Patrick coming because Greg, full head of steam on the top in 1 and 2. He's looking for a big run, but he cheats himself a little bit in 3 and 4, only running the middle, and meanwhile, Patrick is running him down. Patrick, big run coming out of 2 there. Is he going to think about, no, he's going to keep it up top. Maybe going to think about.
Morano, though, nearly caught the wall as we're on the final lap of this heat race. Can Boydell take away the win from Anthony Morano? Spangler third, Barker four, too high was Boydell, and he's upside down. He falls out of the top four. Steven Golder takes it away from G.J. Boydell, and it's Morano that wins heat 2.
Good patience by Goldner there to have that bad luck in lap 1, turn 1, and be able to just stay patient and luck into the transfer spot.
Well, this racing is getting exciting, and I'm a little bit more nervous right now. Steelers just scored a touchdown. They've cut the gap down to 7. Bear with us here real quick. We got to update the cameras here once more. As a couple of moments ago, we were having some technical difficulties, so we're just trying to refresh everything. We now move to heat race number 3, brought to you by Glen Ridge Motorsports Park, your Sunday home for the Dirt Car 358 Modifieds, also showcasing Dirt Car Sportsman, Pro Stocks, and the Rush Late Models new for 2024. Visit them online at glenridgemp.com or like them on Facebook. The Money King, Kyle Moonan's on pole position in the 24. Next to him, Michael Vitale in the 213. Row 2, Trent Verstraeten in the 88, and Slide Job Isaac Salas in the 5. Row number 3, Trevor Giroux in the 075, and Butters Jason Butterfield in the 93.
I think Isaac Salas was watching that last heat and saw what Mr. Spangler was doing on the high side here.
Maybe taking some notes. Remember, he was third quickest in qualifying, so that's why he starts fourth in heat 3. As we're underway, Verstraeten tried to take it 3 wide, and he had to back out of it, though. High side advantage. Moonen goes around in front of Verstraeten, and that sends him to a B main most likely. He gets it back straight, as it's Vitale and Salas have pulled away from Jason Butterfield and company here, Zach.
Yeah, I think Moonen had a little bit of a rough start, kind of what I did a couple nights ago to Brandon Templeton. When you get in the gas in these things, they want to jerk right if you don't roll into them the right amount. And I think he just had a rough start, had to get out of it. And, everybody behind him is a little bit frustrated because of that. So when he had to check up in 1 and 2, he wasn't really getting much help from behind.
Verstraeten currently holds the final transfer spot as we work lap number 3, 7/10 of a second advantage on Trevor Giroux. He is, though, the quickest driver on the racetrack with a 16:53, but now Salas may have found something. He took a peek downstairs last lap, couldn't get something to work.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. He is trying to get that bottom to work, but the way he saw Patrick running 3 and 4, I'm surprised he's not right up against that wall, but he's making the bottom work.
2 laps to go. Rolling on the bottom, trying to avoid hitting the Jersey barrier. Now he pulls up to the door panel for just a moment. Hoosier to Hoosier into turn number 3. White flag is out, 1 to go. Zach, and they touch!
Yeah, just enough to break Isaac's momentum, not enough to spin him around, but that might have been all that Vitale needed.
Yep, Vitale has him clear, but into turn number 3, Salas tries to send it, but unable to do so, has to make contact again. Vitale wins heat 3. Salas, Butterfield, and Verstraeten round out the transfer drivers.
Yeah, I think at the end there, Isaac just letting him know he's there, and maybe, hey, if you do that with me with 2 to go in the feature next time, pinch me down. I won't give it to you.
Now we move to heat 4, brought to you by Catalytic Recovery, buyers and processors of catalytic converters and scrap metal. Competitive and honest pricing, serving upstate and central New York, western Vermont, and Massachusetts areas. Bud Molyneux on pole position in the number 883. Next to him, his first start with us, Jake Henry in the 171. Row number 2, Logan Wentz, the 118. Next to Kelly Wheeler in the 110. And row number 3, Jack Clevenger in the 78 and Gary Offa in the 94. I gotta admit, I almost thought when I first saw that name, Zach, I almost thought that was Cap Henry in this heat race.
Well, dude, I tell you what, it's funny. We're both about to talk about him because I've always had a thing for the red, white, and blue cars. That's one of the finer paint jobs I've seen. I really like that thing. Did a good job, whoever painted that.
Yeah, same. All right, winner starts outside of row number 2. And a reminder, top 4 transfer, bottom 2 down to the last chance showdown.
Yeah, I think Jake's going to go back and watch this and realize he maybe cost himself a little bit. He was hanging way back on that start, so real tough for him. He's already back to third.
Oh, Clevenger and Wheeler makes light contact. Everybody keeps it straight. Henry now back in third. Clevenger has made his way up to fourth. Lap 1, though, led by Molyneux as the field makes their way off to Zach.
Yeah, Clevenger able to take advantage of that slow start for the top, move up 2 spots already, and now he's sending it in. Oh, I had to get on the brakes, but Wheeler not able to get under him. Clevenger's able to get back down, but now we have a battle for the lead.
Here comes Wentz. Looking lean and low on the 883. Quickest lap last time by, 16:68. Can he clear on Molyneux? Tried the slide job, unable to do so, but Wentz leads him at the line now. He's got Molyneux clear.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to try that short slider, but then maybe realized didn't need it, was able to clear him at the line, and now the boys are going to have to see if they can play catch-up.
The 2 laps to go this time by. Clevenger is still with the final transfer spot by 0.3 of a second on Kelly Wheeler.
Everybody able to make up time on Logan on corner entry, but they just do not have that exit speed. He's so much quicker on the throttle, and I mean, he's really beating him down the straightaway.
Wentz looking to become the first 2-time winner of the season, would start from 4th. Molyneux would start from the 8th spot. They make their way down the back chute. Final time in heat race number 4. Clevenger looking low on Henry for the 3rd spot. That won't work out. Off of 4. Logan Wentz wins heat 4. Molyneux 2nd, Henry 3rd, Clevenger 4th, Wheeler 5th, and off at 6th. One driver will go home from this one. If Michael Vecchio does not grid, he didn't grid in the heat race, then we will have a fun B main for the heck of it. And our B main brought to you by Gambler Motorsports, an official team of the Coast to Coast Racing League. Here's a look at the starting lineup. On the front row, Bob DeGood in the 7, next to John Morano in the 33. Row number 2, Trevor Giroux in car number 075, next to Kelly Wheeler in the 110. Sam Bachman and G.J. Boydell round out row number 3. Kyle Moonen, Gary Offit on row number 4. 20 seconds away, and nope, the field is rolling, so this will be a free-fall B-main where it's all for bragging rights.
Yeah, you almost got to look at it as an extra test session. You know, extra laps. You're going to know what the track's going to start like. Here for the... Oh, wait, no, I guess they do have a warm-up session after this, so scratch everything I just said.
Big weekend in iRacing coming on up with the Daytona 24. Last weekend, the Roar before the 24. I took part of that. I had a fast car, but I sucked.
I had the same issue.
Yeah, a bunch of wrecks, a bunch of spins I was involved in. I could have taken the lead at one point, but I locked them up going into turn 1. I pulled a Brad Keselowski. Actually, I did the opposite. I wheel hopped in turn 1 and spun.
That's, Marty, I think that's how I spun out every time, like all 10 of my spins. I just lock up the brakes too hard on corner entry and just loop around and go in the grass every time.
Yeah. Alrighty, a fun B main coming up here. Bob DeGood, John Morano set to bring us to green. DeGood caught sleeping, stacks everybody up. Oh, there we go. Wheeler, Morano, Bachman. Everybody finds a way to save it somehow.
Yeah, John did one of the best jobs I've ever seen up top. He had his car angled straight. I was talking about how, like, when you get in the gas and these things, they want to jerk right. And he was angled directly for this in a straight line, and Bob didn't have much room, and when he got in the gas, came up and got into him, and that's what happened.
That was one of the strangest starts I have ever seen in a race. It was like the pole sitter or the entire front row hit the snooze button as Kyle Moonen sideways. Yeah, like a lot of drivers hit the snooze button. Eight laps Araconsi. To watch the race for 5th. Wheeler, Offert, and Moonen. Take a ride for a lap here with the 24.
Yeah, and, you know, Kyle is definitely trying to get around these guys right now, because I know some people talk about, you know, we give extra bonus points for hard charger. Man, I'm telling you, you don't want to be in the back here. You're going to get too many incident points. Those five bonus points for hard charger won't mean a thing. So, I mean, he's trying to get every position he can right now.
In the 358 modifieds here as a whole, open 358s, you don't wanna. Excuse me for a moment. You don't want to be starting from the back, because it is all about track position. when you take a green flag. Bear with me as Khalil Shakir just scored a touchdown for the Bills. And it's 30-17 right now with 6.5 to go. Go Bills. Race for the leads, though, breaking out. Trevor Giroux, the Flyers fan, looking for something on Bob D. Good. Coming to the white flag this time by Zach Chapman.
Yeah, this is one of the only spots I'll say where maybe he doesn't necessarily want to pass, even if he can, because he'll get to start up top, and it looks like he's liking running up top. So we might not see an aggressive pass here. It might be a little strategy, but he's definitely showing he's quick up there.
Here we go. Giroux, top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. DeGood shuts the door. Giroux tries for one final shot, but it's Bob DeGood that wins the heat. Boydell third, Morano fourth, Wheeler fifth, Moonen sixth, Alford seventh, Bachman eighth.
He definitely made me eat my words. He went for it, but I
did.
think he'll be happy staying up top.
Warm-up time brought to you by the Lincoln Speedway. Stay with us. Here's an upcoming promo for you on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now, from coast to coast? It's one of the best tracks in the Coast to Coast Racing League, and it's showtime in Volusia. Time to meet the field for our 30-lap feature, first feature of the night. Let's meet the field. Here's your RSN trackside starting lineup. On the pole, let's Canada Connor Ross in the 35, next to Anthony Morano in the 32. Row 2, Michael Vitale in the 213, next to Logan Wentz in the 118. Row number 3, Dean Reynolds, who's in car number 79. And next to him, it's Patrick Spangler in the 39. And then in row number 4, you have Isaac Salas. Slide Job is in car number 5 next to Bud Molyneux in the 883. Rounding out the top 10, Dan McLaren in the 88 next to Jeff Barker in the 513. Jason Butterfield, Jake Henry, row number 6. Brandon Templeton, Stephen Goldner on row 7. Trent Verstraeten and Jack Clevenger, row number 8. Rounding out the field, row 9, Bob DeGood and Trevor Giroux. G.J. Boydell, John Morano, row number 10. Kelly Wheeler, Kyle Moon in row 11. Gary Alford, Sam Bachman round out the field this evening. All right, Zach, who's your pick to win?
Man, you put me on the spot first here. I'm going to go with Logan Wentz, I think. I think he's going to get the job done tonight. He looked really good in warm-ups.
I'm going to go with Morano for the win. Set to go green and giving you the Lucy Olson start of the night. Glad you could join us for this one. Week number 4 of the season. Some of the best racing you see in dirt car. The Open 358 Modifieds are green. Oh, we got trouble further back. Isaac Salas with a lot of contact. We're wadding them up. Trent Verstraeten's gone around. Yellow lights are on. And Isaac Salas in his return is just as chilly as it is in his hometown. Pull up a replay, show you what happened. Begin with Salas. Here's what happened as they came to the green flag at turn number 1. He clips Molyneux. Everybody's wadding them up, and you see Verstraeten catch the jersey barrier, and what a ride that Salas took.
Yeah, it looked like he was maybe a little surprised with how early Dean checked up, but Dean hooked it up right on the bottom, and Isaac turns right, and when he does, there's just somebody there.
This is Trent Verstraeten. Let me know when we're 1 to green here, Zach, real quick. Let's go on board with Salas. It's so weird how at a slow rate of speed, how Salas had all 4 wheels off the ground. He should have had a panel on the belly pan saying something similar to the Chili Bowl. If you know, you know.
We just got the 1 to green, Marty.
All right, we're coming back to green this time. It's a single file restart since we never completed a lap. Back to green. It's going to reset on it. Stand by. Molyneux is crashing. We go back yellow. And he has lost a left front sneaker. And we are hearing maybe Brandon Templeton's also crashed. He has.
Yeah, this track's going to be a little tough on those restarts. Some people aren't used to. This is one of the few where they don't have the chalk line in here, but they throw a chalk line down in the middle of 3 and 4. So there's an early restart zone. They got to find that cone, and everybody's jamming up.
All right, see if we can pull up a replay here. Bear with us. Here's what happened to Molyneux. We'll only watch Molyneux and Templeton from the TV cams. We won't watch onboard to show you what happened. He got hooked by Dan McLaren, and oh, that's a big lick. With the wall just angling out, that's a tough shot. And then here's Brandon Templeton. So I dodges this first accident. Did he get clipped by Goldner? Turn 1. Oh, Butterfield got sideways, and Templeton tried to miss him. Caught the wall and came to a stop. So we're going to try this once again. And again, it's not lap 5. Just a reminder there, it is lap number 3 we are coming to when we come back to green. 15 viewers tuned in. Thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. Let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. Let's see if we get 20 by the end of the night. Keep increasing the challenges. Single file restart. Connor Ross set to bring us back to green.
Yeah, hit that like button too, because that'll promote us a little more. So hit that like button.
All right, try this once again. Connor Ross catches Anthony Morano sleeping, races on for the third spot. Field makes their way through. Logan Wentz looking for third on Anthony Morano as we work lap number 5, if not lap number 4. Morano trying to challenge Connor Ross for the race lead. Everybody's still single file contact. Vitale's around. Had to check up or else he was going to hit Connor Ross, and everyone behind him did not catch the memo.
It's so tough being that third car in line, Marty. You don't want to duck out because you have so many cars behind you. You're afraid to try a different line, but then when you have to check up like that so quick, the guy behind you might not get the memo.
Look at what happened with Vitale. Good run going sour now. Logan Wentz just got him. Let's get a good onboard here from the driver of the 213. Trying to get back on the gas, yeah. Just got bumped around by the 118. So, new third place driver is Logan Wentz, moving Dean Reynolds up to 4th, Dan McLaren 5th. If you're keeping score at home, your biggest mover is Sam Bachman from last to 17th. Should be coming back to green this time, buying. That is the case. Pace truck's already on pit road. 4 laps complete when we come back to green. Wentz thought about it underneath on the 32, decides not to go for it. Spangler, the first driver to ride all the way up on the cushion as he runs in P6. Well, that long way around is not working one bit, Zach.
Yeah, no, like you say, I think there was a reason. You know, it sucks he got turned there earlier, Michael, when he was running the bottom. But there was a reason he was just content with riding in third. The bottom is where you want to be right now, and you just got to hope that the guy in front of you messes up.
I don't see any rubber on the track at the moment, but it just seems to be the case. Looks like the Chili Bowl, how it was during the feature on Saturday night. But at the same time, you know, on a slick racetrack, it can be tough to pass sometimes in a dirt modified.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, in real life, this is how this track's in my backyard. This is what this turns into. I'd say for 8 out of 10 drivers, there are only a few guys that really hook up the top and set up their car for it. It normally turns into the shortest way around is the fastest way around.
Morano testing out this second groove, and it's working for him off at turn number 4, off for turn 2. I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah, it just looks like he does carry more speed going down the backstretch, but Connor is able to get up and just break momentum. But I think Anthony's going to have to go for a real big run up high and enough momentum to be able to cross him over, but he can't let Logan get a run on him and get underneath.
Logan Wentz this race yellowed out, Kyle Moonen. And that is, I believe, off of turn 2. And Moonen has already pulled it into the pits. I think he's going to save his attention now for the Renegades later tonight. Look at what happened. I think he was just trying to shoot a gap, and then he caught Isaac Salas, and around he went. That is off the turn 4 correction.
Yeah, he was definitely there, but you know, not necessarily enough that Isaac is already racing beside a guy, so he already hears one car. You know, you may not hear that come up on you, so you gotta know if you're mooning that gap may get closed.
Absolutely, got to be aware of that at all times.
A third of the way done, Marty.
Yep. Maybe give us a chance to look at early that 5-lap average we had coming back to green. And it's tough to tell to really see who's got the sleight of hand at the moment. I think the nod could go to Morano or Logan Wentz. Remember, Morano had the second roof working out pretty well for him. Also, Michael Vitale's got a fast car, but he's stuck in the back of the field at the moment.
Yeah, if he's going to try to get by, he's going to have to hook up that top side. And if Patrick Spengler can't do it, I just don't know if it's there.
We're coming back to green this time, although we did put a bunch of laps in. Race control, I believe, has made the decision to go single file the rest of the race. Just to be safe than sorry, here we go.
I think right now, too, that's what you want if you're at least half these guys, because you don't want trapped on the high side on the restart, Marty.
Absolutely, as Reynolds is looking for that bottom step of the podium. Good run so far from the points leader. Remember, coming on in, he had a 1-point advantage on Trent Verstraeten, and I think he may have gotten some contact from Dan McLaren, checked the field up. Patrick Spangler moves up to 5th. But as I was saying, Reynolds, points leader coming in. Verstraeten had that wreck earlier today, could definitely increase that lead.
Yeah, Dean's going to hope that that was a 0x little push. I imagine it was. It looked harmless, but really ended up costing Dan because Dan did the right thing, got on the brakes, and Patrick was able to clear him and get back on the bottom.
Got a side-by-side race happening for 7th. Jeff Barker, Jason Butterfield, each up 8 positions. That was Butterfield that was on the attack, but couldn't make a pass there, but up the hill he goes barely. And Barker may be able to clear the 93 off of 2, which he does.
Yeah, just able to get a good enough run there. He almost pulled even back on the backstretch, but big enough run in the middle of the corner to pull him. Good run.
Go back up to the front and show you the gap. 0.3 of a second between Connor Ross and Anthony Morano. Is next time by, we'll have the cross flags come up. Actually, this time by, 15 up and 15 down. Ross, Morano, Wentz, Reynolds, and Spangler. That's the top 5. Let's go to another battle on track. This is in the top 10. Jack Clevenger against Steven Goldner off of 4. Or check that off of 2.
Goldner really throwing it in there going into 3. No room between him and the wall. Let's see how good of a run he gets if he's able to clear him. Not yet. Barker, though, slow. Maybe got in the inside wall in front.
Yeah, Butterfield's made the pass for 7th. That's Jake Henry around the outside looking for 8th. And I think he's able to clear off for 4.
It took a lap, Marty, but Goldner was able to just clear Clevenger running the top side, so it might be coming back a little bit. Where does it say that Goldner gets a little sideways?
Well, let's pull up the 5-lap average. Whoa, and yep, you may have jinxed him, Zach. I'm sorry to hear it.
Sorry, Steven.
Gary Alpha got word he's on pit road and has called it a race. And we got issues further back. That's Boydell around. Got collected off of Bob DeGood. We're hearing John Morano, Kelly Wheeler also involved. Now the caution flag flies as Boydell was struggling to get it straight and the leaders were approaching him, ending the longest run of the race.
Yeah, I think maybe Connor wanted that, though, because Anthony was starting to slowly reel him in, so maybe Connor can get a reset and try to gap him a little bit on this restart. Anthony's starting to look real quick. You're looking real good right now, Marty.
Let's see here. Boydell just caught DeGood as he was starting to angle in the corner. And then just a big stack up broke out. Let's catch it on board with the Canadian. That is how it happened. I believe we're coming back to green this time here. Nope, lights are still on. I believe it's 1 to green this next time by. Let's go back to the 5-lap average. We love showing this. Gets you a good idea on who's got the better car. And the top 3 just look virtually identical here at the moment, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's almost a case of follow the leader right now. Anthony's got to hope to get a good start, maybe get some pressure on Connor, maybe give him a little shove going into the corner, not enough to turn him, you know, but nothing wrong with rattling somebody's cage. And At the same time, Logan is hoping that Anthony maybe gets into him a little too hard so he can sneak around the both of them. But it can be an interesting last 10 laps here.
Gonna watch this restart from the Chapman Racing drone. 10-lap shootout to determine it all here at Lincoln Speedway. Morano tried to go early, but then he had to let off, allowing Ross to open up a small gap into turn 1. Spangler working on that second groove, looks for 4th on Reynolds, but then had to back out of it or else he would have caught the wall. And now Ross decides to go neutral lane. Morano with a run underneath, but can't get it to work. 9 laps to go. Spangler trying once again. This time he sent it deep for the 4th spot. Can he get on the throttle first? Yes, he can. The high side banger may have something working late in the going. I don't know, though, if you want to be sending it with the big gap in front of you. If there's a small gap in front of you, I get that, but I don't know with Spangler. Oh, trouble for Stephen Golder.
You're a battle for the lead, Marty.
Anthony Morano, Connor Ross side by side, coming to 7 laps to go. Ross hanging on for right now, Zach.
Yeah, I'm not sure what got in Ross's head, but he's, like you called earlier a couple laps ago, he moved up to the middle, and that's all Morano needed. He's been running the bottom the whole time, and he's fast. So I don't know if Connor can clear him here. He needs to get back down. High
side better off turn 4. Low line is the place to be off of turn number 2. Ross hanging on for dear life. 6 to go. Logan Wentz making this a 3-car shootout for the race lead.
Yeah, Logan Wentz all over the both of them there.
Top 2 looking for win 1 of the season. Logan Wentz wants win 2. 5 laps to go at Lincoln Speedway. On board the 118. Bob DeGood has crashed. Yellow lights are on. He must have saved it as he's kept the car straight. And now we have another incident. Jeff Barker after the yellow flew. See here, what may have caused this yellow flag? Ooh, just got a touch from John Morano. Got to give credit to DeGood. That's a great save. And then after the yellow came out, Barker locked them up trying to avoid hitting Jack Clevenger.
All right, get doing a track like this. That is a good save. You're getting some good racing now, Marty. Anthony was all over Connor's neck there, breathing all down it. Connor's got to get back to the bottom here.
We'll see what happens. Lights are off. Gary Spangler checking in. Oh, this is pretty funny. He's a Steelers fan. He said, I gave you a thumbs up because he couldn't find a specific phalange to give me. Oh, Gary, oh, Gary, oh, Gary. All righty. 4 laps to go. Can Morano find a way past Connor Ross? About to find out.
Connor's going to stay in the middle, Marty.
That's where he likes it. Turn 4 has been his specialty today as Spangler nearly spins around. Could give a chance for Dino to take away the 4th spot. Off of 4, 3 laps to go. Morano nearly gets side by side with the 35, Zach, and he sends it deep this time. A lot of yaw in turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's putting a lot of faith in Morano because Morano makes a lot of speed on the entry of 3 and 4 and in the middle on the bottom. So all Morano's got to do is float it up into him. Connor's putting a lot of faith in Anthony.
2 laps to go. It is tight mid-pack. All the good racing there. Watch closely. We got cars stopped. No caution. They make their way off for 4. Ross still the leader. White flag is out. 1 to go. What do you do if you're Anthony Morano? Ross goes up the hill, trying to keep the high side. That's his preferred line. Morano may get one last shot at 3. There he goes. He takes a peek downstairs. Side by side off for turn number 4. Canada Connor with the win at Lincoln. That's the win Joe Plosick would be proud of.
Flag the flag.
Morano second, Wentz third, Reynolds fourth, and Patrick Spangler rounds out the top 5.
I thought we might see Morano do his T-Mez impression, throw it in there, but we didn't see it. He raced him like a gentleman. That was a good race for those guys up front.
Hashtag slide or die.
Dean was able to get Patrick back for 4th, so that could come real big for him in the points. That's a big pass for Dean.
By the way, Bills win. We get the Chiefs and Taylor Swift next week. All right, now I can shut up about football. Connor Ross, the winner. Anthony Morano, second. Logan Wentz, third. Dean Reynolds, fourth. Patrick Spangler, fifth. Dan McLaren, sixth. Jake Henry, seventh. Jason Butterfield, eighth. Jack Clevenger, ninth. Jeff Barker rounds out the top 10. Sam Bachman, your hard charger of the race, he finished 13th after starting 24th, so we'll get some bonus points for that. And then we look at the rest of the field. And we do have your top 5 with you. And with that, we are going to start off with our third place finisher in Logan Wentz. Logan, I know I got a feeling you were hoping for that top 2 to take each other out.
I wasn't really hoping for them to take each other out. I was just hoping for an opportunity to get them to meet both of them battling.
Okay, I got you.
And just nowhere to go other than the middle of the track.
Walk us through your race, though, as a whole today.
Well, in the beginning, I got into Mike due to a checkup up front, and I apologize for that. But other than that, it was kind of just a fun race and holding your line and keeping the car straight.
What positives do you take away?
Definitely learned that this track can be fun to run when everybody's racing you clean. But other than that, this track is just a mess.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Got to thank Casper Flagstone, JT Screen Praying Epilepsy Foundation America, Moreno Racing, Mom Lens, and you guys for putting on this broadcast weekly.
All righty, well, we'll let you go. Great job. And will we see you in the sprint cars tonight?
Probably not.
All right, sounds good. Well, have a good one. Great job.
You guys as well.
All right, let's go to our second place finisher in Anthony Morano. Anthony, what more did you need there for Connor? You came so close.
I needed Connor to spin the tires like all hell coming out of a corner. That was my only option there. I was giving him everything I had. I got alongside him there for a lap or two. I probably could have drove it in there real deep in one corner and just slid across his nose and hope for the best, but no point in taking out 2 cars if you mess up. So I'd rather just stick with second and go to next week.
Got to give it up for you two, though. You two raced each other really clean there. Did you want that final caution to come out or not really?
No, I think once the tires start getting some heat in them, that's when you have to worry about spinning them, and that would be my best chance there. So that was definitely not something I wanted to see at all. Would have been much happier if we just ran out the whole 30 laps green, but not going to happen. So I guess we'll try again next week and see what happens there.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I got to thank my wife, Sherry, for letting me on here all the time. My teammates at Full Throttle Motorsports, Dean over at Super Dirt Car, Logan at High Mom Lens, Swan Speed Shop, MDI TV, Marty, you for doing the broadcast, and everyone here at Coast to Coast.
All righty. Great job tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks, Marty.
All right. Morano's your second place finisher. Now we go to Victory Lane to talk with your winner in Connor Ross. Connor, that's a run that Joe Plazik would be proud of, first off. Well done. Walk us through those final few laps with Morano right on your tail.
I knew he had something for me. I didn't know what to do. I tried to run the bottom the first half of the race, and it was partially on me. I didn't make an adjustment on the car. I just left it from practice, and I knew I had to get up to the middle where I could at least keep up my momentum. And at the end of that, the last few laps there, I got really loose and almost gave it away on the last corner when I stepped out sideways. But no, that was a phenomenal run between Anthony and I. And I don't want to say I'd be happy to lose, but if it was to someone, he's a clean racer and he raced me clean the whole race, so I got to thank him for that. But no, man, that was a blast.
Did you feel like off of turn number 4, the high side was the place to be, and then off of turn 2, the low line was the place to be?
Yes and no. I was able to roll the middle of 1 and 2 a lot better than 3 and 4. 3 and 4, there was still quite a bit of attack on the bottom, but you had to hit it right. It was almost more of a diamond lined that you could hit that really well. But I knew he was close to me, and I wasn't sure if he's on my inside at all, so I just wanted to keep it up in the middle, and I was just more comfortable there.
Will we see you in the sprint cars coming up?
Yeah, just loaded in. Gonna go eat dinner quick because that would be awesome. But yeah, I'll be in there.
Awesome. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I got to give a shout out to Dean. He hooked me up tonight, and I wouldn't have won without him. So got to thank him. I got to thank Gambler Motorsports, Zach. Yeah, I know you weren't racing there, missed you behind the wheel there, but you're doing great on the broadcast. Jeff, John, Steven, Zach again, Aiden, everyone. And I got to thank Burger Barn Petro Plus, Ace One Construction, Pesky Penguin, and Coast to Coast for putting on another awesome season. And you guys for doing an amazing broadcast on Monday nights.
Alrighty, well, we'll let you go. Congratulations on the win. Go ahead.
Also, roll Bills. I just have to put that out there.
Go Bills,
I know
baby.
Zach's from Pennsylvania, so
he hates the Steelers, though.
Yeah, we've been over this. I'm a Redskins fan, or Commanders fan, remember?
I forgot you're kind of weird. But I'll let you guys go.
I live closer to Baltimore and Washington than I do Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but the Commanders suck anyways.
Oh,
Can't
Connor,
argue
we'll let you go. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we got to take a break here to load up the Rebels. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a
bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight we'll be talking about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
We're back here at Lincoln Speedway as we get set to go for... Actually, I have some technical difficulties here right now. Bear with us with our graphics. We just got to reset. I do not know why it says Weed Sport for some weird reason, but...
Are you talking about on the overlay, Marty?
Yes, on the overlay. So
I have the same problem. I was going to ask you about that. That's so funny that you say that, because the 2 times that I've done that, mine always says that.
I think we just need a refresh for that. But getting set to go for Rebels now at the moment. Rebels are brought to you by our good friends at Malcolm's Mills Mill Riding. We welcome you back inside the broadcast booth. Marty Sakala with you alongside Zach Chapman. We'll see if the overlay can refresh while we are at that. Good start to the night here with the 358s at Lincoln. And now we move on to the open 358 modifieds, which should be some fun too into this one. And the Rebels have been at some points this season they've been tight. Other points in the year they have had their moments, but Jack Hick coming on in with an 11-point advantage on Brian Moore Sr. But right now, we do not have any of those drivers in the top 2, nor the top 3. No Randy Shreves at the moment. This could be a big opportunity for Brad Waite to take advantage if nobody in the top 3 shows up.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I was lucky enough to luck into a C win last year, a championship win. You just got to make sure you show up every week. You know, guys have real life stuff come up. We totally get it, but if you show up every week, that's a better chance. You know, if you have a bad week, you can make up for it. If you have a bad week and you're missing weeks, you can't drop one of them as a drop week.
Absolutely, and let's see if we've got everything fixed up here now. We do not. Okay. So we are still having our technical issues. I'm going to try and refresh SDK here one more time, see if that'll do the trick. But while we're at it, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. See who's checking in. You mentioned Gary and It's Goon and Drone City earlier. I think, do we have it set? I don't know if we do. We do not. Okay. So we may have to go to the backup plan then. And the backup plan would be use our previous file. And apparently that will not be the case either. Sorry, guys. I don't want you guys to have to deal with this, okay? Qualifying's
They
underway.
love us, Marty. They don't care about the graphics.
Yeah, they don't care.
They come for us.
Yes, they come for us. Let's put the focus on Steven Stewart in the 47, and you got to give him credit for how he ran last week at Eldora. Started on pole in his debut and was able to finish in the top 5.
Yeah, you know, for everybody out there watching, listening, if you're interested in getting in, Steven is the perfect example. He posted on an iRacing message board looking for a league, and me, Patrick Spengler, and I believe one other person commented and was like, you know, C2C, and he's joined. He's having success. It seems like he's having fun. You know, anybody out there looking to join a league, this is the great starting league. You know, we're definitely not professionals by any means, but we love to take it seriously, and we have a lot of fun doing it.
Trying for straight and coming off a turn 4. Isaac Salas goes quick time with a 14:31. Brad Waite second quick. We talked about him. Could be a key player in this. He's got a 14:33. Dan McLaren on lap 1 goes 14:45. McLaren stays 4th. Connor Ross 7th on lap number 2, 14:59. Just wait for Joe Backus. I don't believe he is going to qualify. And qualifying is wrapped up. All right, let's get you your starting lineup here for heat race number 1. And I don't believe our starting lineups are working here. So Connor Ross is on pole position. Next to him is Jack Clevenger in the 78. That's row number 1. Row number 2, it is Trent Verstraeten in the 088 next to Isaac Salas in the 5. Row 3, it's Gentleman Jack in the 217 next to G.J. Boydell in the 014. Rounding out the grid, it's the Bassman Roger Craig in the 747.
Man, Connor has qualified in the perfect invert spot twice tonight. Now, Marty gets to start P1, Heat 1, both races in a row.
He is. I don't know if he's figuring out the timing right or whatnot. I don't know.
I think he's got a horseshoe hidden somewhere.
All right, we're coming to the green. Winners on pole position for our 30-lap feature. And we are taking everybody. No one has to worry about. You got to be in the top 4. Rotz gets a good jump for Straighten and Clevenger touch it, and we've got nearly everybody around. Salas with a big hit and loses the top wing.
That's one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen, Marty.
And Boydell has lost the tire.
Roger Craig went from last to second in the midst of one turn, Marty.
What a lunch of the Bassman is. What a read.
Man, I thought for sure Isaac had him cleared when they got together, and he got in the wall by himself. He's going to be kicking himself for that.
Right on board with Roger here as we'll show you the replay. Wow. Just a hole opened up for him.
He parted the seas.
Halfway home, Connor Ross with a 2.6 second advantage. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but it's a little too early to say this, but hey, you never know. Shot at the Triple Crown tonight, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, you know as well as I do, Connor's one of the few guys in here who I'd say could do it. Him, Blake Chapman, Patrick Spangler, a few others, but he's very talented, and he's like Isaac. They should easily be in this A series. They just, have had real life things, jobs, and all this stuff come over the season, so they've dropped out.
Final lap underway in Heat 1 for Canada Connor. Gonna start on the pole once again this evening. The checkers are out. Ross on pole, Craig second, Clevenger third, hit fourth, Verstraeten fifth, Boydell sixth, Salas seventh. And so now we move on to heat race number 2. And heat 2 again brought to you by our friends at Full Throttle Motorsports. Starting lineup looks like this. Gary Offutt on pole position. Next to him, it's Steven Stewart in the 47. Row number 2, Dan McLaren in the 88, and Brad Waite in the 814. Row 3, Steve Bixler in the 75 and Talon Ulibarri in the 19. And rounding out the grid this evening is Joe Backus in the 46.
thought I would have pronounced it too. I was anxious to see how you handled that. I may have froze. It's a really nice paint job he has. I love that thing.
Yeah, so that's a nice scheme that Talon does have.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Mr. Yuck sticker green. I like that yellowish green.
Alrighty. Winner starting second. Alrighty, McLaren tries to take it 3 wide. Has to tuck it back. We got issues further back around spread weight. Bixler gets hooked by weight. And everybody else keeps it straight. Look at McLaren go 3 wide for the lead. Stewart back on the gas first and leads the opening circuit, Zach.
Yeah, Dan knew he had to force the issue and go because he knew Stewart was going to be fast up high and wasn't able to get it done. He's going to have to slot in line now and here, try to get a run on him, maybe throw a slider in a lap or two.
Backus and Offut racing for 3rd spot. Nothing working for them. Let's go to Ulibarri. Bixler's around once again in the back. Weight underneath Ulibarri for 5th. Low side's the place to be right now here at Lincoln. Would you agree on that?
Don't tell Steven that because he is hooking up top. I mean, he is walking away. I think it all depends. Maybe if you have a slower car or two in front of you, you may want to be on the bottom because you don't want to get pinched up high coming off. But that run that Steven has coming down this front straightaway is just unbelievable. Hitting 120 mile an hour going into turn 1.
Don't know if our dashboard is going to pop up here. It won't due to the technical issues that we are having right now. Top speed I'm seeing for a lot of drivers. Backus just hit 120. Steven Stewart, 123, just hit his best lap of the day, 1450 last time by.
Yeah, and Dan McLaren only 117 last lap. You can see the difference running the bottom. You may be making up a little ground in the middle of the corner and entry, but that straightaway speed is just phenomenal right now for those guys on exit.
Making their way off in turn number 4. Steven Stewart to the checkers. He wins his 2nd straight heat race. McLaren 2nd, Backus 3rd, off for 4th, Wade 5th, Ulibarri 6th, Bixler 7th. All right, now we move on to the warm-up. We'll step aside, take a break. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now, from coast to coast? It's one of the best tracks in the Coast to Coast Racing League, and it's showtime in Volusia. Time to meet the field here for our 30-lap feature for Rebels. Here's your starting lineup, brought to you by iRacing Trackside. On the pole position, it's Connor Ross, the number 35. Next to him, it's Steven Stewart. Excuse me. In the 47. Row number 2, the Bassman, Roger Craig in the 747, and Dan McLaren in the 88. Row number 3, Jack Clevenger in the 78, and Joe Backus in the 46. Row 4, Gentleman Jack Hitt, the 217. Next to him, it's Gary Offa in the 94. Then you've got Trent Verstraeten in the 088, and next to him, it's Brad Way in the 814. GJ Boyd down with the 014, followed by Talon Ulibarri in the 19. That's row 6. Isaac Salas, the mayor, Steve Bixler round out the field in row 7. Time for picks to win. Who do you got tonight, Zach?
The Buccaneers and Connor Ross.
All right, I like it. I like it. Give me the Bucks too, and then, you know what? Why not? Give me Roger Craig for the win. I think we get an upset tonight.
Nobody'd be happier than you and I, Marty.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, we're coming to green. Connor Ross brings the field to turn 1, 3 wide for second with McLaren in the middle. Steven Stewart off for 2, uses the high line to grab the runner-up spot. McLaren and Craig still race bottom side of the podium for straight and sends it in deep in 3 and 4. They're 3 wide further back, but it's Connor Ross that leads lap number 1. But Stewart's got company on his tail, still 3 wide for third, and we're wrecking. Big time crash. One car loses the top wing. That's Isaac Salas. 2 drivers make it. Joe Backus is the second.
Not that you wish it on him at all, but if it's going to happen to Isaac, you want it to happen to him early because he's one of the few drivers. I think he goes in here and gets a quick repair. He can still make his way back into the top 5.
Look at the Malcolm's replay to show you what happened. Verstappen just lost off turn 2, then gets Backus. And then he had a harder collision from Gary Offa. Let's watch a couple of onboards here. We'll begin with Isaac Salas. He got tagged from behind. I don't know who it was. Let's see what Trent Verstraeten's perspective can tell us.
There's a hump there right in the middle of 1 and 2, Marty. I went out there and test drove a little bit, and it looked like he just went right over that with a little too much gas and just lost it. It's real easy to do right now.
Set to come back to the green flag. 3 laps are complete. Double file restart. Ross selects the bottom. Steven Stewart, row 1. Roger Craig, Jack Clevenger, row 2. Dan McLaren rounds out the top 5. Ross fires. We're back to green.
Yeah, there's that little bit of tack down there. He's going to use it to his advantage, and then he's going to slide right back up, I'd imagine.
But Stewart may get a run off for turn number 2, possibly race for third. Jack Clevenger takes it away. McLaren and Craig bang wheels in the battle for 4th. And Stewart moves up to P2 past Clevenger. And then Connor Ross clips the wall off for turn 2, but we watch the race for second down the back here, Zach.
Yeah, you see Jack get a run there in the middle of 1 and 2. I was just about to say that I don't think you're going to see the bottom really come in 3 and 4, but I do think you're going to see it coming in 1 and 2. That wall, it's just getting so treacherous up there, and if you look right where Jack was, if he goes a little bit lower, half a car length lower, he can put that left rear tire right in the tack, and that's really going to help him fire out of 2.
Connor keeps marking the wall in the center to exit at the corners when he's on the high side. Is it making him a little bit nervous? Now he switches down to the bottom.
Yeah, it's almost like he heard me there. I think he's realizing that this is one of the few tracks that it will shift to bottom 1 and 2, top 3 and 4, and I think you're starting to see the shift happen. If you get a really good 1 and 2, you still can hook it up, but it's much, much harder to do now than it was 10 laps ago.
Some other good racing on track. Best racing's happening in the back of the pack. Isaac Salas trying to weave his way through the back of the pack. Dan McLaren caught the wall. He's taking it on for dear life and makes a great save. Now you have Backus in the wall. He falls back to last. But Salas making his way up through the pack. Oh, no! Pitt and Craig get together. First straight and loses the front wing. Ah, man. And Bixler's also around, too. The points leader, though, did catch a piece of it. Here's a look at what happened to Roger Craig. He was losing a bunch of spots here, Zach, and I think they just touched off at 4. Yep.
Yeah, it looked like Jack got a big run off the wall, and, you know, he did come down a little bit, but not a whole bunch, just enough to get Roger in the left rear, and that's gonna hurt both their nights.
That's right on board with the Bass Man. And then they just kept stacking up as the yellow flew, everyone trying to slow down.
Yeah, everyone wants to slow down there, but that's such a tough spot. You know, your brain's so programmed to run off a turn 4 so hard because you want to beat that guy to the line in case a caution comes out, and you don't expect it to be right in front of you. The lights are off this time by.
We're going back to a double file restart. Connor Ross, Steven Stewart, row 1. Jack Clevenger, G.J. Boydell, row 2. Brad Waite, Dan McLaren, row 3. Isaac Salas, Talon Ulibarri, row 4. Trent Verstraeten and Joe Backus round out the top 5. Back to green. Clevenger underneath Stewart for second, and Art in the wall. Boydell had no yaw into 1 and 2. Is 3 wide behind him. Meanwhile, Salas throws the slider. Tries to take away 6. They're 3 wide once again. Boydell takes the 6th spot back. Now he wants the 5th from McLaren. Oh, Salas makes contact. I think that was one for Straighten, and yes, they're both hard in the wall. And Salas' night is done, and same for Straighten. Stewart still with a challenge in second by Clevenger as he's trying to chase after Connor Ross for the lead.
Oh, man, Connor was all but sideways. Wow, I don't know how you gathered that together.
That allows Stewart to maybe get a run off for turn number 2, but no, Ross has him clear. Now, what do you do here if you're Steven Stewart? Do you search for options, or what do you do?
I mean, he almost is, because Connor's doing the opposite of him in 1 and 2, and I mean, I just can't see the bottom in 3 and 4 working unless you're right behind the guy and you go in there and throw a slider from hell. So he's just got to find a way to make the top in 1 and 2 work, and it looks like he's real smooth, and he just needs Connor to keep getting loose on the bottom.
Both Ross and Stewart each had a handful last time by off at turn number 4. As we're halfway home, cross flags up, 15 down. Let's go to some other good racing in the back of the pack. Craig trying to rebound, racing ahead for an 11th. Not the race that Jack Hint wants, as he was the points leader coming on in. This could be the day that Brad Waite wants, coming in 4th.
Yeah, up 6 spots right now. If he can get one more guy, he'll almost lock himself in with the hard charger points as well. So Brad's really got a good run that he put together here tonight.
Stewart looking for it once again. Can he get the drive off at 2? Sprint car and a modified are different. They swap lines this time. And Ross had the advantage off of 4, even while sparking the wall with the tail tank.
Yeah, I think Steven got a little excited there. He maybe thought we saw he had a big run out of 2, but he just wasn't close enough to even think about it yet. So now he's got to go regain them 2 tenths that he made up the previous lap before. He's got to stay calm and realize that he is the faster car right now, it looks like. So he's just got to run him down and throw that slider with 1 or 2 to go.
Clevenger has company for 3rd, meanwhile. That's Brad Waite. Clevenger's hanging on for right now. could we possibly see as well, as we're on board with Steven Stewart, could we have some lap traffic? The leaders are approaching. This could determine who wins the race here.
No, you're exactly right, and there's 8 laps to go. So, I mean, they are going to catch lap traffic as long as we don't get a caution, and Connor's just going to have to hope that he gets through these guys quicker. And I see Roger, he doesn't have a front wing right now, so that thing's got to be a handful to drive.
Yep, Roger's letting the top 2 go, and Steven Stewart caught the wall.
Oh.
While trying to get by Roger Craig, he caught the wall, and so that means he'll likely need a yellow flag to fly.
Yeah, you know, you're not supposed to do it, but you got to almost wonder if Steven was driving off Connor a little bit. In the previous laps, Connor had been running the bottom, and Connor going up high may have threw him off and just threw his eyesight off. May have made him readjust for the corner.
And that definitely did hinder the last 5 laps on average. Ross is the best car here at the moment.
Yeah, even Connor's kind of giving up on the bottom now, we see in 1 and 2, and that's not what Steven wanted to see, because if Connor's running the exact same line as him, it's one thing to catch him, and then it's totally another thing to catch.
And Ross now catches the wall. This helps out Stewart now this time.
Yeah, he's just hoping the right front isn't broke right now, because these things are real sensitive, as they should be, like they are in real life. Can't get in the wall doing 70 and not do any damage, but looks like it's holding up together.
4 laps to go.
Coming up on another lap car here, Gary Offit.
Lets the leaders go by, but Connor, I think, has turned on the afterburners. 3 to go. Steven Stewart running out of time. Oh, God damn it, McLaren's around. The caution comes out. It's not over.
No, and that's Steven's, you know, thanking his lucky stars here. He messed up a little bit getting in the wall when they went around Roger earlier, and this will give him another chance to go at him here with 2-3 lap shootout here.
McLaren lost it by himself. He spun right in front of Steve Bixler and tried to get that car on pit road, but was unable to do so. Let's ride on board with him. Let's go back to that last 5 on lap average now that Connor Ross had hit the wall. The best car on track right now could be Jack Clevenger, but that yellow obviously changed everything.
Yeah, but, you know, he may be licking his chops right now because that mowed those other guys in. I mean, he was catching Steven a little bit, especially after got in the wall there with Roger, so this may give him a chance. And Connor just wants to make sure he gets as good of a restart as he can and hope that those guys are battling for second and he can walk away. Coming down the backstretch, wonder of 2-lap shootout here.
A green-white checker, non-attempted overtime. Bixler, Ross, Stewart, or the field. About to find out. Green-white checkered, here we go.
That is a beautiful restart from Connor.
Best restart of the day without question. And now Stewart fighting for second on Jack Clevenger. Clevenger with a nice run out for 2 as Stewart got a little too wide there.
Slider, and he's able to clear him.
Stewart trying to fight back. White flag is out, 1 to go. Oh, Stewart sends it and puts the elbow on Clevenger, sends him around. Point down to 3rd. Meanwhile, off for 4. Connor Ross has a chance at a triple crown tonight, and Ross wins at Lincoln. What in the world just happened?
Looked like Steven clipped the inside wall, wasn't able to straighten it back out totally after he clipped the inside wall, and sadly Jack Clevenger was just the victim there. I'm sure Steven won't be getting a birthday card.
Yep, you can hear that little hit. Oh, that's a tough break for both of them.
It is tough because Steven, I mean, he's shown nothing other than just cleanliness since he's come in the league. You know that wasn't intentional. If he wanted to go in there and right rear him, he would have, and he wouldn't have wrecked himself in the inside wall, but he ruined his race too. It's a tough break.
How about Brad Wade and G.J. Boyd out, each finishing 2nd and 3rd, up 8 spots. Hard charger of the race is Brad Wade. pull up the... Oh, we can't pull up the official results. Wade Boydell, Ulibarri, hit, joined Ross, eligible to race in the Renegades as long as our IL is under 200. Backus, Stewart, Clevenger, Offord, Craig round out the top 10, followed by Bixler, McLaren, Solis, and Verstraeten. Let's see if we have the top 3. We just have Connor. All right, so we got the top 3, and we will begin with G.J. Boydell, our third-place finisher. G.J., nice run for you. Walk us through that final lap and able to dodge those bullets. You had a good car tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Had a little bit of help with some setups and just really smooth on the throttle. And yeah, I avoided one finally. Wasn't so good in the 358 race at doing that, but yeah, that was a little better. Slow is fast, right?
Yes. What were your thoughts when the final caution came out?
I didn't want it.
You didn't want it?
No, I was in a groove, and once I'm in a groove, I just want to keep going.
All righty. Well, who do you want to give shout-outs to on this run?
Joe Canellis, and We Let the Dogs Out for You, and Abandoned Cat Rescue, and want to say thanks to you and Zach for the job you guys do, and Roger and the C2C crew, and yeah, that's about it.
All righty. Great job, and best of luck in Renegades.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna race or not.
Okay, gotcha. You'll save everything for later this week, I see.
Yes, sir.
All right, sounds good. Great job tonight.
Thanks, Marty. Zach, have a good one.
You too.
Good run,
Go
man.
Bills.
Yeah.
Up. We put him out by mistake. I thought he just left on us, but all right, let's go to our second place finisher in Brad Waite. Brad, we talked about you coming on in on our pre-race that this could be a big race for you as we didn't have second or third place, I believe, not show up with us this evening. That second place finish, I know you'll definitely take.
Yeah, sorry about my mic issue. I've been told it's given some issues, but yeah, it felt pretty good. I mean, even coming in, and this track is very technical, and setting, I think, the second overall quick time, P2. So I felt pretty good that way, and thought if I could make some changes here, I knew it was slicking off, but a little upset there in the heat race, put me in the mid to the back of the pack in the A, but I figured, hey, let's just do what we can and get some points here.
I think your auto-tune is freaking out here, but anyway.
Yeah.
Best interview we've ever had.
Yes. Other than that, positives you take away from tonight?
I'm just happy to finish. I kept it all together in one piece and finished in the top 3, so it definitely helped my points because last week it was holding pretty steady and got into some traffic in front of me on the last lap, which kind of put me. I don't want to get too bad a spot. I'm going to keep my points up here and keep finishing strong and see how it goes.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Everyone back at the crew here, they're busting their tails getting these things dialed in, and M9 Performance, Furno Motorsports, A&J Creations, DNT Designs. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far, and I'm looking forward to keep talking to you guys.
All righty, well, we'll let you go. Great job tonight, and best luck in Renegades.
Yep, thanks for you guys for the broadcast. You always do a good job, and kiss.
Absolutely. Brad Waite, our second place finisher. Now we go to your winner, Connor Ross, looking dominant tonight. Did you want, though, that final caution to come out?
No, not one bit.
That's for sure. I mean, your car looked really good in lap traffic, and then that final restart, without question, your best restart of the night.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just don't feel comfortable right now. I didn't feel comfortable in that 358 race, and I didn't really feel comfortable in that sprint car race, but clearly that works. Me not feeling good, so. But no, it's been a good night so far. I'm just gonna keep it up and see what I can do here tonight. Tough field.
Absolutely will be a tough field coming up. I'll ask you about that in just a moment. But walk us through the battle you had with Steven Stewart. He closed in on you at one time, and then He caught the wall, allowed you to run away, and then you caught the wall back.
It was just turn 1 and 2 was so tricky on the top. There was nothing there. Either had to drive it in deep and hit it perfectly, or you had to back up the corner, straighten your car out, and hope you hit the tack on the exit. And the one time I hit the wall, I drove it in way too deep and turned too late. And luckily enough, he wasn't close enough to capitalize, and luckily enough, I didn't have damage, I don't think. So, no, that was a good, fun race.
Now I got to ask you this. You have got a chance at the very rare Triple Crown. Give us your thoughts coming on in.
Well, I'm going to try my hardest. I'm going to try and do it clean, but as teammate says, slide or die.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I got to give a shout-out to Gambler Motorsports, Petro Plus, Burger Barn, H1 Construction, Pesky Penguin, Kingpin Farms, Coast to Coast again for putting on an amazing league. You guys for putting on an amazing broadcast. I say it week in and week out, but it's truly something special what you guys got going on here.
We'll let you go. Great win. Once again, best of luck in the Renegades and go Bills.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Connor Ross is the winner here. Man, I swear it feels like he just came off an AFC divisional win. Now just won the AFC championship. Now has a chance to win the Super Bowl here. Coming on up here. Renegades, speaking of which, that's coming up next. Stay with us, the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we talked about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We are moments away from beginning the Renegades portion of the program. Renegades are brought to you by Dylan Westbrook Racing. And let's welcome you back into the broadcast booth. Marty Sakala alongside Zach Chapman. Zach, let's talk about the Renegades as we come in. A lot of storylines coming on in. But our top 3 in points each have won a race this season. We talked about Stephen Goldner and Kyle Mooney last week. Patrick Spangler now adding his name to the wins column. Who could be next tonight? Obviously you, number 1, but who could be next?
Well, it wouldn't really surprise me if that boy who won the last 2 races wins the 3rd tonight. He's really good. Like I say, normally a regular in this series, but just been working and stuff, so can't really make the races, so dropped down a series. But he's definitely got the quality here. And, not to, rip on anybody, but with the inverts and stuff and this track being so hard to pass, you don't necessarily want to be a great qualifier. You kind of just want to be a mid-pack qualifier here, and that sets you up pretty good for the heat. So you just, if you're a real good qualifier, you're hoping for some luck in front of you, and you need some wrecks in the heat.
And that's kind of as well what helped out Connor. He's qualifying at the right times. Let's take this for example. He qualified, I think, what was it, 13th quickest in time trials, inverts to number 1, and then he qualified 9th quickest or something like that, or 7th quickest, I can't remember. And that
it'd be 7th because 2
1.
heats. Yep.
So.
Yeah, just he got hitting the right number, and the B guys, not that. They're almost just as good as these A guys. Like I say, a lot of them have just dropped down because they've missed races. So Connor's just hoping to replicate that same qualifying effort, maybe be faster by a half a tenth or so. But if that should put him on the front row for one of these heats.
Absolutely. Should be getting going here momentarily. Pull up your practice speeds here in just a moment. It'll come up. Don't worry, it'll come up. Wait a second. Do we have it fixed? I don't know. Uh-oh. I don't think we do. Don't worry, it's coming. So, but while we're at Donovan Ross is your quickest currently in warm-ups with a 13.4. That's Brandon Templeton, 13.44. Tyler Wilson, 3rd, 13.48. Patrick Spangler, 4th, 13.51. Keith Jackson, 5th, at a 13.52. Good to see Keith back, too. It's been a while since we've last seen him. Good to have him back.
Yeah, he's another guy that just adds to the pot of why I'm not going to win tonight. Some of the guys in here are so fast, Marty.
Let's look at the schedule, by the way, for tomorrow night, brought to you for the rest of the week, brought to you by Dylan Westbrook Racing. And what's coming up tomorrow night, we've got Chili Bowl preliminary night with the midgets, as well as the Mid-Atlantic Showdown qualifier number 1. That's tomorrow night. Those are fun events, keep in mind. Wednesday night, we're back with you on the Coast to Coast Racing Network for Hometown Heroes, this time at Cedar Lake, followed by the trucks at North Carolina Speedway, a.k.a. Rockingham. Thursday night is Thursday Night Thunder with the small blocks, big blocks, and the crate late models at Lanier, and then it's Xfinity Racing at Lanier. Friday night, we have Friday Night Lights with 358s, crate lights, and 360s at Eldora. Next week on Monday night, we are at the Port Weed Sports Speedway for Week 7. You can all watch it right here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Qualifying is underway at the moment. Brandon Templeton on lap number 1 goes 14:27. Jesse Atkinson second, 14:36. Keep your eye out closely if we get a new quick time, and we do with Kyle Moonen with a 14:27. Great lap for him. Go better on lap number 2, and he is just barely off the pace. Here's the Professor John Hine in car 71. Donovan Ross goes 4th, Brad Waite 5th. Second lap better for Hine, 14:35. He's 3rd quick. Brad Waite takes the checkered flag. Is he better? He is. He's now 3rd quick at a 14:32. John Short just completed lap 2, 11th quick, 14:46. Keith Jackson 12th. Checking on the other drivers who are taking laps. Kyle Sargent on lap 1 in car 91. Chad Cote just went 4th quick on lap 2, 14:35. Actually, it was lap 1 rather. See if Sargent's better on lap number 2. Can he make it in time? I don't think he did. Nope, he did. The exact same lap, but off the pace. Kyle Moonen.
Look
It's
at Connor
quick as,
again,
are you
Marty.
kidding me?
That's
Come
unbelievable.
on!
He needs to go buy a lottery ticket.
Are you kidding me?
Unbelievable.
Connor Ross is on the pole for heat race number 1. How in the world does he know this stuff? He needs to either go play the lottery, he needs to go play some blackjack or Texas Hold'em or slots. Oh my goodness, Connor Ross on pole for heat number 1. Donovan Ross is next to him. That's your front row. Row number 2, Chad Cote and Kyle Moonen. The Goose and the Money King on row 2. Row 3, Bob DeGood in the 7 and Stephen Goldner in the 30. And in row 4, Kyle Sargent the 91 and Gentleman Jack Hitt in the 217. Heat 1 brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies.
Yeah, we got a battle of the Ross on the front row, Marty.
I guess you could say that's Rossum.
Hopefully none of them try what Ross Chastain did.
Yes, hopefully no one tries the Hail Melon.
Stephen Goldner right behind his teammate. I guess. Not sure what's going on there. A little shuffling around.
I think they're probably adjusting some stuff relating to penalties, possibly.
Yeah, I believe you're right, Marty.
All right, so here we go, coming to the green flag this time by. Green is out. Connor tries the slide job. He clears Donovan Ross. I think Devo let out of it. That moves Stephen Goldner up to 2nd. Goldner that hits the wall. Devo with the slide job. And now Stephen counters it back. Lap 1 led by Canada Connor. And Ross gives Goldner the bumper. That moves Hitt to 2nd. Both the Vandyville drivers involved. Jack Hitt with a slide job on Connor Ross. He takes the lead away with 2 laps complete.
Yeah, Connor got into that wall in 3 and 4 again, so much so that he didn't have a wing for about half a second on my computer.
Oh,
Wasn't sure what was happening, and there he finished. He's finishing it off now.
If Connor wants a triple crown, he's going to have to fight for it tonight. Who saw this? Jack Hitt and Bob DeGood battling for pole position tonight here, Zach.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody had that on their bingo cards, but congratulations for those gentlemen. I mean, Bob and Jack definitely been improving, but they lucked into one with some penalties and some wrecks, that's for sure.
Keep in mind as well with Jack Hitt, if we had no penalties in this heat race, Jack would have started last. Race for
Bob
2nd, Bob
around.
DeGood goes around and puts him back to 5th. Now Kyle Sargent is up to 2nd.
I don't want anyone to wreck, Marty. I'm not going to talk about anyone.
He would have started 7th tonight. That just shows you how crazy the penalties were tonight. So we're coming to the white flag, 1 lap to go. It's Hitt, Sargent, Ross, Cote, the top 4. I believe 3 heats tonight, 8 cars in each heat. Here comes Gentleman Jack Hitt off at turn number 4, the Rebels points leader. We'll start on pole for Renegades action tonight. It's the wildest heat we've seen tonight thus far, Zach.
I hope they got it all out and mine's a little calm here in the next one.
Yes. I think they're trying to let their crashing out now so they don't have her for the feature. Now we move to Heat 2, brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports, and here's the starting lineup. John Shore on pole position in the 51. Next to him, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. Row number 2, it's the Professor, John Hine in the 71, and B-Temp, Brandon Templeton in the 31. Row 3, the Bandybuilt Master, Jesse Bandy in the 49. Next to Shaggy, Zach Chapman in the 72. And in row 4, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis in the 161, and Barry Goldner in the 36. Alrighty, Zach, best of luck in this heat.
Appreciate it.
So we'll put him on hold for right now. Driver Giroux definitely enjoying the broadcast. Winner starts outside the front row next to the gentleman. Short and Spangler set to bring us to green. 1 penalty here from the looks of it. Brandon Templeton starting at the back. Side by side to turn to 1. Short, a tough entry. Could help out Spangler take the lead off for 2. Nearly scrapes the wall, and he goes to the point. Short slides up in front of Zach Chapman to hang on to second. Hine underneath on Chapman for third. Shaggy hanging on for right now. Oh, Short and Hine touch. Short got a little bit loose. Let's see if the Professor sends it in. Short, Hale Mellon's it. Zach Chapman sideways. He gets a lot of contact off of Terry Landis. And that puts him at the back. Zach said hopefully no one Ross Chastain's it or Hale Mellon's it. I think he said that during the break. Somebody did. It's John Short. Now he's in fourth. Luckily, everybody transfers in as we've got a full field of 24 that were on the entry list. And now Bandy's in the wall pretty good. Short did not take advantage of it. I think he let off. That helps out Brandon Templeton. Look high, wide, and handsome for fourth. Halfway home here in Heat 2. Landis, teammate with John Short. Looks for bite. May lose a spot to Barry Goldner. Well, it's still Patrick Spangler leading this one. 1.7 seconds. The advantage on John Hine at the moment. This man is going to be a huge threat and is right now a huge favorite to get win 2 of the season. Final lap underway, and we just heard John Short with issues. Off the pace, he must have caught the wall again really good. Now he's back in 7th as Patrick Spangler comes off turn 4. He wins Heat 2. John Hine finishes 2nd, Jesse Bandy 3rd, Brandon Templeton 4th, Terry Landis 5th, Barry Goldner 6th, John Short 7th, Zach Chapman 8th. Well, I guess Zach, you'll be having fun with Connor, making a charge for the back to the front as we got John Short flipping.
Yeah, I don't know about fun, but yeah, I'm gonna have to try to work from the back. A tough break there. I saw John get a little sideways coming out of 2, and I knew John Hine was below me, and I don't think Short knew that. So when they made a little bit of contact, I checked up a little bit. When I got back in the gas, I just got sideways. So sorry to the people that I got sideways in front of.
Time for heat race number 3, brought to you by Glenridge Motorsports Park. Here's the starting lineup for that heat. Keith Jackson on pole position in the 113. Next to him, it's Tyler Wilson, the Macho Man in the 42. Row number 2, the Pink Panther, Jesse Atkinson in the 127. Next to Brad Waite in the 814. Row number 3, Brian Dickens, supposed to start on the outside of Jeff Barker, but I believe Dickens is starting from the rear. Also have Kurt Schatzer and Gary Taylor. Credit to Gary Taylor. Different person, same name though. The B-Main Band, I believe, made it all the way up to the B-Main, the Chili Bowl, correct?
Yep. Yeah, all the way to the B-Main, and then I think he finished, but they took 7, and I think he finished 9th or something like that. Almost made it.
Alrighty, 1 lap till we take the green flag. Who are you watching out for closely in this heat?
You know, I don't believe he's won this season. He's had a little bit of bad luck, but Tyler Wilson, if he could win this heat and put himself in a good spot for the feature, he's somebody who, you know, I think last season, at the end of the last race of the night, he was in the battle for the championship. So I look for him to string a good night together here.
All right, here we go. Green flag is out. Jackson trying to slide job Tyler Wilson for the top spot. Too much yaw. We got issues. Gary Taylor, Kurt Schatzer, Brad Waite all getting together. And that just leaves 4 drivers in this heat race as Tyler Wilson leads lap number 1 on Keith Jackson. Jackson trying to fight back on the bottom, though. Nice exit, though, for the 113, but the entry's not going to work for him.
No, yeah, he had a lot of speed there, middle off, surprisingly, as low as he was, but just wasn't able to clear him and had to check up. If he can't get in front of him, he's really got to float out. Going to have to almost do it again there, but he's pulling up side by side. Let's see. Doesn't go for the slider, though.
He looks better off turn 2. Wilson obviously looks better off turn 4 as they're dead even at the line.
Yeah, if he can... I just think right now, Keith looks the best because if he can set that up in 1 and 2 and throw a real good slider in 3 and 4, that might be the move.
If they're side by side at the final lap at the white flag, watch closely. Jackson could get Wilson clear off of turn 2. No, they stay side by side.
Yeah, Wilson was not backing out of that. It looked like Keith thought about shutting the door, but Wilson stuck his nose back in there. Still 2 wide, 2 to go. Or 3 to go.
On board with Wilson. Now back to Jackson. That's Jackson rather, as Wilson had Jackson cleared for 1 moment. We're coming to 2 to go in this heat, and Wilson's got the lead by a half a car length.
Yeah, it looks like Jackson's just so dependent on really rolling that bottom. Sometimes he's overdriving it. He has the last 2 laps, hasn't been able to put the left side tires in the tack. He's got to really slow it down and get down there if he wants to stay committed to it.
1 lap to go. Will Wilson defend the bottom into turns number 3 and 4? Bad exit for Keith Jackson. That's going to cost him a chance to go for the win, and it may cost him second. Watch Jesse Atkinson off for turn number 4. Won't get a chance. Wilson wins. Jackson second. Atkinson third. Jeff Barker finishing 4th.
Yeah, you know, Atkinson's heart rate spiked there. He thought he maybe was going to get second when he saw Jackson mess up. He did a good job of putting the pressure on him.
Next race coming up is the main event. Stay with us at the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now, from coast to coast? It's one of the best tracks in the Coast to Coast Racing League, and it's showtime in Volusia. Final feature of the evening. Let's meet the field in the RSN trackside starting lineup. On the pole, Gentleman Jack Kidd in the 217. Next to the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. Row 2, the Macho Man, Tyler Wilson in the 42. And next to him, Kyle Sargent in the 91. Row number 3, the Professor, John Hine in the 71. And Keith Jackson in the 113. Row 4, Devo, Donovan Ross in the 05. And the Bandy Bow Master, Jesse Bandy in the 49. Rounding out the top 10, the Pink Panther, Jesse X in the 127. And Chad Cote the Goose in the 11. Row 6, B-Temp, Brandon Templeton in the 31. And the Brewer to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Row 7, the Money King, Kyle Moon in the 24. And the Desert Demon, Terry Landis in the 161. Row 8, Superman, Kurt Schatzer in the 218. And Stephen Goldner in the 30. Row 9, Barry Goldner in the 36. And the Captain, Gary Taylor in the 34. Row number 10, Bob D. Good in the 7. And Shorty, John Short in the 51. Row number 11, Brad Waite in the 814. And Canada Connor Ross in the 35. Rounding out the field is Shaggy Zach Chapman in the 72. And Brian Dickens in the 122. Zach, real quick, your pick to win.
Oh man, it's gonna be a tough one here. Let me pull up the front 5 here. It's been a while since he's been on the podium, but I'm gonna vote for my boss. I think John Hines got a quick car. Maybe he can pull one out here. Be smart.
Alrighty, best of luck to you, man.
Appreciate it.
Give me Patrick Spangler for the win tonight. Here's the Lucy Olsen start. As we get set to come to green, where else would you rather be than right here, right now, from coast to coast at Showtime in Lincoln? Oh, we got one on the wall. It's Terry Landis, and we got a big wreck. Zach Chapman, Gary Taylor, Bob DeGood. No caution, though. We stay green. Everybody keeps them straight. DeGood puts it on the pit road. Lap number 1, led by Patrick Spangler. Pit stuck in second. Sargent and Wilson side by side for third. Now it's a 3-car race for P2. The Macho Man wants to make it 1-2. Training Wheels Racing. And now it's 3 wide for the runner-up spot. Oh, Sargent a hit touch. And Hit's lost the steering. He's in the wall. Sargent as well lost the front wing. Cote also makes contact. He could have some steering damage, but a tough break for the gentleman. And now he has chastained it and has lost the top wing. Has to pull it off ASAP or else we're going to caution it. There it is. That's a tough break there for Gentleman Jack Kidd. A lot of things to digest here. Let's look at the stack up first on lap number 1. Short catches Taylor, then catches DeGood, Chapman, and Waite. And obviously we showed you the contact between Sargent and Hit. And then here is what finished it off. He hit the L by TKO. Couldn't control the car. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna put it in. And that's why the caution came out, because DeGood was coming quickly. So, wait a second. Where is Patrick Spangler? Spangler's all the way back in 21st, gang. What? Wait on. What happened here to Spangler? Did he lose his internet? All of a sudden, poof, it's gone. Wow, so this race has taken a complete turn. Patrick, if you're watching, let me know what happened. All right, we're back to green. Wilson and Devo bring us back. Here we go. 3 wide now for third. This time it's Jesse Bandy that was stuck in the middle. Wilson's able to hold serve. Keep Jackson underneath Devo for P2, the teammates. But Jackson, I think, clipped the jersey barrier. Up the hill he went. He still hangs on for third. Here comes Bandy to challenge. Longer way around. It's 3 wide for a moment for the top spot. One up in the wall briefly. It was Jesse X, and everybody, though, all good to go. Bandy now up in a podium spot. At third over Keith Jackson at the line. Spangler has got the car back out onto the racetrack, and now we got trouble. Chad Cote has flipped it. Gary Taylor's also involved. Yellow lights are on. And we may be hearing, too, Brian Dickens may have crashed. Not too sure on that side of things, but the Goose has taken a wild tumble. Ooh, big contact after he clipped Stephen Gollner. A good save for the driver of the 30. Brad Waite's also involved there too. You saw Dickens there in the background. Let's ride on board here with Cote, and that will show you what happened to Dickens. All right, here's a look at the 122. Coming back to green. A watch from the Chapman Racing drone. Wilson, the control car. Top 4 all single file until there. Ross pulls up to the high side. Bandy wants to get the middle groove to work. Ross has second, but now wants the lead on Wilson. 4 wide for a moment off at turn number 4. Keith Jackson hanging on for dear life in that 4th position. Moonen challenging him. Stephen Gollner up there as well. And remember, they started at the back of the pack in this race today after they were involved in an accident in their heat. Here comes Bandy for second, leading the Bandy Belt troops up to the front. Oh, Wilson caught the wall. Wilson caught the wall. He's back to third. Devo takes the lead on lap 10. 4 cars under a blanket for the top spot. Moonen wants it from his teammate. Won't get it for now. Devo, your leader. And now Stephen Gollner makes it a 5-man horse race for the top spot at Lincoln. All separated by 0.8 of a second. Who's got the better lap time on average is what we want to know. Bandy's going for the lead on Devo. Right now it's Moonen, the 24, with the edge. Oh, Ross tried to cut down in front of Bandy and throw a block. He still hangs on. Bandy trying the slide job for a moment. Oh, that's tied off for 2. Wilson has to back out. That helps out Devo pull away just a bit. Bandy almost threw a slide job. Moonen looks for second with help from Stephen Gollner. And Moonen with the slider, but he couldn't pull up. Devo tries to pull away. Bandy clears for second. 3 wide for the 3rd spot. What a first half of the race that we have seen here. Bandy tried to get for the lead. High side working out well for Ross. Oh, it is now 3 wide again. This time, Gollner touches with his teammate. Mooney goes through to second. And that does allow Ross to pull away, or does it? Mooney looked for the lead, but we're under yellow. All right, everybody calm the heck down. Jeff Barker brings out the caution flag. What a long run that was. Here's why the yellow's out for the Brewerton Beast. Just a stack up. Oh, he caught the back of John High and around he went. Catches the inside wall. Let's ride on board with him. there. Was not able to let off in time. So let's pull up that 5-lap average one more time and show you the advantage of the moment. We said it was Kyle Moonen earlier. He's got a slight advantage on the leader, but the quickest car on track is the man in 6th, and that's Brandon Templeton. Actually, check that. He's the man in 7th. Scored at the moment, I believe. Long way, though, left to go as we're at the halfway point. Ross selects the high side. That's where he's been good. He has to beware if Moonen times the restart well. He'll throw a slider into turn 1. And I think we're going to go one extra lap. And that is the case. I don't think they have the entire field up with the pack yet. So we'll go one more lap here before we come back. I think we're going to pull them off this time. Yes, the lights are off. We're coming back to green. So did get a confirmation too. Patrick did lose internet, then regained it. All right, here we go. Back to green, and Ross times it well. Moonen caught sleeping. Top 3L single file. Moonen looks downstairs. Bandy up the hill he goes. Moonen tries to take away third, which he does. Here comes Moonen for the lead. Does he try the slide job? No. But he goes to the point. New leader, it's the Money King looking for win 2 of the season. Now he throws the slider, almost catches the wall, and Devo goes downstairs. But again, the high side, now the place to be off for 4, or is it the low line the place to be? I think Ross edged him out by 1,000. Now he tries the slide job, Moonen hangs on for now. Yellow flag is out. This is going to be close. I don't know who the leader is. Yellow is out for John Hine and Jesse Atkinson. Devo is out front. Donovan Ross hanging on by the skin of his teeth. Here's the cause of the yellow. Watch Hine and Atkinson off of 4. Oh, and that got caught by Keith Jackson too. Terry Landis also involved. Saw the professor lose the front wing. Both of them lost the front wing. Right on board with John. Actually, no, I want Jesse. Let's go on board with Jesse Atkinson here. Here we go. This will give us a good onboard. Backed out of it. And right there. That is how the crash occurred. All right, Ross selects the outside line. 15 laps to go when we come back to green. Another look at the 5-lap average once again. Moonen clearly the better car than Ross. Alrighty, Ross Moonen, row 1, Goldner Wilson, row 2, Templeton, Brady, Bandy, row 3, Schatzer, Ross, row 4, Chapman, Sargent round out the top 10. Here we come back to green. Moonen tried to crowd Ross up on the high side next to the wall. We're back racing. Ross has Moonen clear. Different lines once again. Low line is starting to come into shape. Moonen can't get the lead yet. They're still wing to wing into turn 3. Moonen doesn't throw the slider, but does get the bite off for 4. Moonen still has the advantage, or excuse me, Ross has the advantage for now. See if Moonen tries it once again, but he's got backup from Steven Goldner. Big slider, Moonen's in the wall. He thought he had Ross fully cleared, he doesn't. That's going to cost him a spot to Steven Goldner. I thought who that slides his teammate. Moonen nearly clips the wall again. And if they're going to get side by side, along with Wilson, that could help out Ross pull away. Remember, this is not for the Triple Crown. But we could have the last name of Ross win all 3 races. Connor won the first 2. You see him there in the background lurking in 10. And now Moonen is losing spots. Down to 4, Templeton and Wilson under attack. Chapman and Sargent and Dickens have crashed. Yellow lights are on. And that's a big one in turn 2. Probably not the yellow you want if you're Donovan Ross, though. Here's a look at the yellow. Got punted by Kurt Schatzer. Sargent left with nowhere to go, and then Dickens and Spangler, I think, collided briefly. Let's ride on board with the 91. That's Chapman in front of him, the white and purple car. There it was. All right, I think this is a 10-lap shootout to determine the winner of this one, if not an 11-lap shootout. Let's see here. Is this single file or is this double file? I'm not too sure. This is double file. All right, Ross selects the outside. Him and Stephen Goldner share row number 1. Tyler Wilson, Kyle Moon in row 2. Brandon Templeton, Jesse Bandy, row 3. Kurt Schatzer, Connor Ross, row 4. Terry Landis, John Short, row 5. This is going to be a wild sprint to the finish line. Goldner timed the restart well with Ross. Does he throw the slide job of the 0-2? Yes, he does. We've got a new leader. Maybe not, as Steve-O counters it back. What a pass from Donovan Ross off for turn 4. But we're back to caution flag. And because Steven beat Donovan Ross to the line, Steven will have the lead. Check for the cause of yellow. Believe it's for John Hine, Gary Taylor and company. Take a look here. Caught the back of Atkinson. And even more happened in front. Try this once more. Single file restart, back to green. Stephen Goldner able to hold serve for a lap though. But Devo wants it badly. Going for the front. He's got it. Devo back to the point. We've completed 27 laps. 8 to go. Goldner catches the wall. 3 wide for second. Moonen back to the runner-up spot. 28 laps complete. Everybody deciding to go on the cushion. Moonen a little bit sideways. Bandy goes around. We're back to yellow. Not the yellow you want if you're Ross, but it is single file. Get the cause of the yellow here for Bandy. Get another angle of that. Give us just one moment. Here's a look. Off and Templeton just bounced off of him. Ooh, and then, oh, that's something I'm not going to like there. He did not hold the brakes. Oh my goodness. I think of all the drivers on the front of this one, the man that wants this badly is Donovan Ross, that's for sure. 5-lap average. Once again, this is so tight, folks. This is going to be the loudest 6 laps, the longest 6 laps of maybe Devo, Moonen, and Wilson. Perfect restart from Ross. We're back to green. Now again, Ross does get a freebie lap. Will Moonen be able to close in? Oh, Moonen and Wilson both caught the wall. Who's going to take second? Moonen hanging on. Goulder to third. 5 laps remain. Now it's Templeton underneath Stephen Goulder for a spot on the podium. Moonen to the wall again. Goulder to second. Contact between Moonen and B-Temp. 4 to go. Ignore the remaining laps of the line. Remember, a 35-lap feature. 32 down. 3 laps to go. The one thing, the one thing Donovan Ross does not want to see, and it just came out, caution waves. Jeff Barker and Jesse Bandy. And then we're going to rack them, stack them back up one more time. Oh man, he was just off the pace, and then Bandy rammed him, and Barker just got DQ'd. Because he had a 12X on board the Bandy Builtmaster. It's like Barker may have run out of fuel or something. Nope, he was already in sideways into turn number 3. This is just getting crazy, folks. All right, should be 1 to green this time. Goulder and Moonen, looking for win 2, looking for the points lead. We're coming back to green this time. 3 laps remain. Devo the control car for this restart. A lot of company behind him. A lot of fast company behind him. Goulder trying to look low. It's a later restart from Ross. He goes. Great restart for the number 02. Hanging on to her on the cushion, off for 4. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. Donovan Ross in the PDC, Rudine Racing, number 02. He's got the 05 on iRacing, off for turn number 4. Coast to coast, put your hands together for a first-time Renegades winner. How about it for Donovan Ross? Oh, you gotta love it! Welcome back to victory lane! I didn't want to say it, I didn't want to jinx it. He wanted it so badly. He just beat Kyle Moonen and Stephen Goulder from 7th to the win. Unbelievable. His best finish in Renegades prior was a 2nd on November of 2022 at Lucas Oil Speedway. Donovan Ross is in Renegades victory lane. How about it? Biggest mover is Connor Ross from 22nd to 7th. So, Zach, we did have a triple crown, but not the same guy. We had Rosses in all three victory lanes.
Yeah, very happy for Devo. I've definitely wrecked him once or twice by accident. He knows I'm not the best guy, but really glad he could pull one off tonight. I'm a little disappointed. I went from 24th to 7th at one point. I think I may have had something for a podium. I was pretty quick, but good for those guys.
Ross the winner, Moonen second, Gollner third, Wilson fourth, Schatzer fifth, Templeton sixth, Ross seventh, eighth, Barry Gollner, ninth, Landis, Jackson 10th, Atkinson 11th, Sargent 12th, Hine 13th, Taylor 14th, DeGood 15th, Spangler 16th, Barker 17th, Zach Chapman 18th, Bandy 19th, Short 20th, Wade 21st, Dickens 22nd, Cote 23rd, and Hit 24th. I'm not sure if we've got the point standings updated just yet. Nope, Patrick Spangler is working on that. But let's talk with your top three, and we'll begin with Steven Gollner. Man, first off, we got to give it up for the Renegades as a whole. Steven, what a charge, up to third place finish. How tough was the high side in the final laps?
I had wheel damage pretty early. I got in the Cote there, I don't know, 10 laps or so in, and my car kind of went to the garbage. But, I mean, the track was good. This place is always fun. The top's real tricky in 3 and 4 to hit right. My car just wasn't there to hit it, but, I mean, it's a badass track. I love coming here. Usually puts on a real good race, and we ran, side by side, a lot of us for majority of that race for the lead.
Absolutely. Now, if I recall correctly, correct me here if I'm wrong. I can't remember. There's so many things going on right now, but I believe you were down on Devo. I think that one caution at the line by like thousandth. Am I correct on that? Was that you or am I thinking of Moonen?
Yeah, that was me. He kind of stayed up high. I went after him because I know I was looking left, looking right. He went, I went, but I cut down the track, and I got a real good run on him and ended up beating him to the line, which I know you're not supposed to do, but like it's tough because he keeps around the outside. I have so much momentum in the straight line that like we're drag racing to the line and I beat him, but yeah, he was badass tonight. Scotty Edwards definitely put a good sight under him for tonight.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
All the guys that Bandy built, you guys for the broadcast, Muna Racing Engines, Pittsburgh Photography, Velocity Race Designs, Dylan Westbrook Racing for the title sponsor for Renegades. Yeah, that's about it.
Great job tonight, and looking forward to seeing you next week.
Great, thank you.
Steven Gollner, your third place finisher. Let's go to second, Kyle Moonen. Kyle, first off, same thing as I said to Steven. Great race, phenomenal racing you guys all put on tonight. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Steven. How tough was the high side for you in those final few laps?
It was hard. It was hard, borderline. I don't want to say impossible, but it was definitely a little tough. I don't know what Devo had figured out, up there, but it worked out for him. So,
what positives do you take away from this one tonight?
Just a good points night, especially after I had a good, couple points weeks, the first couple weeks, and crappy one last week. So at least got a second, and it'll get some points.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the run?
Just all the guys at Bandy Built, Ross Crenn at Velocity Race Design, you guys all for the broadcast, and Roger and everyone that helps put on the league.
All righty, we'll let you go. Great job tonight, and best of luck next week.
All right, thanks, Marty.
Kyle Moonen finishing second. Now we go to your winner. Oh, I am Zach, this may be the best interview we've had all night without question. Devo, you're a Renegades winner.
It took 13 years and 7,000 races, but we got there.
How
finally,
in the hell does
not
this
only
feel?
did you get there though, but you earned this one tonight, Devo. Nobody in front of you wrecked you. You drove your way up there. You were real fast. Good job tonight, man.
How does this feel?
Oh, it's exciting for me because usually I'm the king of crumbling under pressure. I got into Goldner a little bit there in the heat race, and I knew that he would be coming, and I knew nobody races you harder than Kyle and Goldner. So when I looked down and seen that those two were there, I knew that it's two of the best in the business there. So you have to be perfect. You got to be perfect to beat those guys, and luckily tonight was a perfect night.
It seems to me we had a couple of turning points in this race. Number one, you getting the lead back on Goldner on that single file restart. I think it was with 9 to go. But I think the other turning point was when that caution flag came out and you two were just about dead even at the line, and you had the advantage there to bring us back to the green flag. Is that like, did the low line work for you compared to everybody else?
I hadn't ran that, Marty. I just kind of stuck there, and I don't remember that restart so much. I just know that I just kept giving them the bottom, knowing that I could gain momentum on the top, and if they slid me, I could turn down. There's a pretty good line where you can turn down underneath the guys and get a good drive. So that's all I was trying to do, and then jack around with my restarts, because those guys are so good.
Next week, you're coming to my town. My track. You're coming to the port. What's it going to be like going on into next week?
Oh, it'd be pretty exciting. It's fun to run good. Some of this competition called me a Rebels has-been, and how's it feel to run in the back of the Renegades and be a field filler? So a little bit of motivation lately from some guys that we race with, and it's just fun to run good, and got to thank Keith and Jack been working on some stuff, and it's good to have Keith back. Keith's a great source of knowledge, and he's fast, and now we got to get him comfortable, and hopefully we can start being competitive like we should be running.
Party at Dingus tonight?
Oh man, I'm late to cooking dinner. It was my night to cook dinner, so it's a glass of ice water and cook some chicken for Mama.
All right. Well, wherever the party's going to be to celebrate your first win, you're buying everything.
Absolutely. Like I said, good time. It's I wouldn't wreck the race anybody but those two guys there. So it's a good run.
Ah, man, we're so happy for you. Congratulations. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate it with your team. You deserve it, man. Well done.
All right. Thank you guys. Thanks, Roger. Appreciate everything that you guys do, and Roger for keep giving me chances in the league when he probably should just kick me out. So appreciate all you guys, and we'll try to keep it interesting for you.
Oh, man. Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks again.
Man, what a night, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. I mean, let's put the cameras on here one final time. That's a standing O for the Renegades. That is, plus he has to show off the Josh Allen jersey, but, man, that's the best Renegades race of the season without question. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I definitely until I had some bad luck. That was I agree with Golden there. This track gets such a bad rap from some people for some reason.
I agree.
And I mean, I could see the racing in front of me there, and I could hear you talking about the guys up front. I mean, there were times it looked like they were 3 wide, as I was coming through. And you can get any lane to work. If a guy slips up on the bottom, you can run the middle and get by him and pinch him down. And this is just, I love this track, and I can't wait to go to Weedsport next week.
Yeah. I hate to tell everybody this. I haven't told Roger this yet. I'm going to let him know here ASAP. But unfortunately, I will be missing out on the broadcast next week. Yeah, even at my home track, unfortunately, as I have another broadcast commitment to go through. Zach, I know you're celebrating already with the vape, but we're going to log off here for now tonight. That is going to do it for us on behalf of everyone at the Coast to Coast Racing League. Roger, Craig, Preston, Kramer, all the admins, all the drivers on, the sponsors. Marty Sakala saying so long. Connor Ross wins 2 tonight. Donovan Ross is a first-time Renegades winner. So long, everyone.